A ticket you say, by user giant_poundcake. Working at a facility as an on-site tech. Get a call from one of the staff members. IT, hi, this is IT, how can I help you? Employee, hi, yes, we have 4 new employees starting today. They will need email and IT, I'm sorry, but did you say all 4 new employees have started today? Employee, yes, and we will need the following done for them. IT, I'm sorry, but was there ever a ticket or an email sent out regarding these new employees? Employee, a ticket? No. IT, we're gonna need a ticket with all the information required. Full names, what they need. Employee, okay. IT, yes, there is a onboarding process, so please email our support email with all the required information and also CC the office manager as well. Employee, okay, will do. There is no way I'm taking a phone call about 4 new employees that have already started today without a ticket. Are you kidding me? I should have gotten a ticket about said new employees at least a week ago. And no way am I rushing to get done all 4 employees. No, it still works if I don't need it to do anything, by user Ernesco. So I don't actually work in IT, I work in a library. But I thought the story might fit here. The location where I was working at the time had just installed new card scanners for the self-service machines. Now these machines are very simple to use. You first press an icon on the screen to tell it whether you want to borrow or return books, then if you are borrowing books you scan your card and then the books, and if you are returning books you don't need to scan your card, you just feed the machine your books. The old card scanners had been sort of integrated into the desks, while the new scanners were attached to the screens. Now the company didn't feel the need to replace the desks, so they had just taped over the old scanners with white tape. But since it's still a visually different area on the desk, old customers with muscle memory etc., a large part of my job was basically just notifying people that they needed to use the new scanners. One day this customer comes in, an elderly man, and I see him putting his card on the white tape, so I go over to tell him that he needs to use the new scanners. He turns to me and says, "No need, this one still works." I am a bit perplexed since it's supposed to be off, but he goes on to explain, "If I need to borrow books, I use this scanner," points to the new one, "and for returning books, I use this one," points to the old one. Again, returning books doesn't require you to scan your card at all, since all the books have unique codes and the system automatically recognizes who had borrowed the book before. He was just putting his card against the defunct scanner, which did nothing, and then continued to return his books the way he was supposed to. But clearly this system worked for him, so who am I to intervene? Cause of email delivery failure, Pebcake, by user Enticle. User has problem. User sends me an email. User decides to type my email, for reasons unknown since we've exchanged dozens of emails and her mail program should auto-complete it for her. Regardless, this time she types it and of course she types it wrong. I don't get any email. Weird, I see the email in the sent folder, must be a problem on your end. I had my suspicions already, but then I see a meeting on my coworker's calendar and among the invites is my, very much misspelled, email address. At this point, user is constantly using the wrong address, because her mail program auto-completes it to the most recently used. I let user know. "No, I typed it right, this is a problem with your email, so fix it." I do literally nothing because the less time wasted on her bullshit requests the better it is for both me and the company. I figure if she ever needs something important she'll figure out how to email me. Probably. Can I speak to your manager, by user savoir_faire. This was a long time ago, so details are kind of hazy, but I remember the general picture. I was Tier 1 support for a cybersecurity company that sold security software. Our software basically prevented people from going to bad websites, and a few other things. You would set it up on another server within your network and ensure that it listened to all of the HTTP/HTTPS traffic. We also sold on-prem Linux boxes that you could proxy traffic through and did essentially the same thing. One of the most common issues we'd have is someone would tell us our software wasn't working, but in reality they had improperly configured the network side of things, and the traffic wasn't routing to the proxy. We usually confirmed this with a packet capture or something, and as soon as we showed the network guys of whatever company we were talking to, they'd realize it was their problem, typically a firewall or something not liking the non-standard proxy port, and start fixing it. Occasionally we'd get calls from a company's outsourced tech support in India. The outsourced guys always seemed like they were working with limited information and would often stubbornly stick to some sort of script, so they could be hard to work with. They were also having to work at the middle of the night in their time zone, so I imagine some of them were very tired. One day I got such a call. Me, hi, thanks for contacting Corp, my name is savoir_faire, what sort of issue are you experiencing? Customer, your software isn't working. When I go to a bad website it just comes up. Me, let me take a look. After a few pointed questions, I realize this is the exact same issue that plagues so many of our customers. I remote in and confirm. Me, sir, this packet capture shows that your server is never reaching our proxy server. The computer accessing the bad website is correctly configured to route to the proxy. You need to check with your network guys, show them this packet capture and they'll be able to get to the bottom of this. Customer, begins repeating original issue he told me about. Me, sir, I understand what you originally said. But what I'm seeing is that your traffic is never reaching our proxy. So if you take this to your network team they can fix this. Customer, I understand that, but begins rephrasing original issue in a different way. Me, sir, I assure that what I'm saying is correct. Look at this packet capture. You can clearly see the data is not reaching our proxy. And your company controls everything in between this computer and our server. We continued going back and forth for a bit, with the customer refusing to do anything but insist it was our problem. He kept on saying his boss wants him to get this issue resolved. Finally, I'm starting to run out of patience. Me, listen, I don't know how else to say this. Is there someone I can speak to who is in charge? Can I please speak to your boss, the one who is putting you up to this? This catches the customer off guard a little bit, but then he seemed happy to not have to deal with this anymore. He puts me on hold to see if he can get his boss. Presumably he has to dial someone back across the ocean. My coworker looks over at me. Did you just ask to speak to the customer's manager? A few minutes go by with me waiting, unsure what to expect. I was very confident in my reasoning, but sometimes bosses don't like getting dragged into trivial issues like this. Eventually, 3 guys get on the phone, all of them American, and present themselves as customers' bosses. They neutrally tell me that customer said I requested them. No yelling and screaming, so that's good. I calmly explain to them exactly the situation, what's going on, and how the packet captures show their traffic is never reaching our proxy server. There's a momentary confusion, but after a moment it clicks and they understand what I'm saying. They say they'll get their network guys to look into it, they thank me and tell me to close the ticket. Problem solved. Sometimes you just have to escalate up the chain to get the support you need. Tongue sticking out. User can't find the clock, by user barks 2K12. That happened a few months ago and just had me dumbfounded. A user puts in a ticket regarding her OneDrive not syncing and calls me. We'll call her Mary. The call goes as follows. Me, IT support, John speaking. Mary, hey, it's Mary, I was calling to follow up on my ticket for OneDrive. Me, sure no problem, there are a few things we can try over the phone. You should have a blue cloud icon on the bottom right side of the screen, near the clock. Mary, I don't see a clock. Me, okay, that probably means your taskbar is hidden. If you move your mouse to the bottom of the screen, it should come up. Mary, the bar is there but I don't see the clock. Me, are you sure? It should be on the bottom right of the screen. Mary, I don't see it. Me, so you do not see an area on the bottom right that shows the time. Mary, yes I see that. Me, what did you think I meant by clock? What do you call that? Mary, I call it the calendar. I started laughing on the phone when she said that. Apparently a display of time is not called a clock in her eyes. Since it took us 10 minutes just to find the clock, I decided to walk over to her office and do this one in person, because if something so simple took that long, I'd be on the phone for hours. To be fair to the user, she was retiring soon and practically had a foot out the door at that point, so she probably just didn't give a crap. It's just hard to comprehend how anybody could be confused at what a clock is.